A very warm welcome to Pankaj, who's joining us here on the broadcast. We'll quickly cut across to him. Pankaj, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Kabir. Good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing absolutely fine. I hope you've got your cup of joe because we've got a lot to traverse through. First and foremost, let's quickly take a look at Manipur. Amit Shah says that he's ready for discussion. The opposition remains firm on their demand of a statement from the Prime Minister. But even in Manipur, some 14 other people have been identified, even as the seventh accused has been arrested in that May 4th viral video case, Pankaj. Some good things that have also happened in Nagaland, like you must have heard in my introduction. Nagaland, the Naga community is making sure that the Kukis and Metis are holding hands together. That picture, resonates to the larger audience across the country. But on the other hand, in
Mhm.
Meghalaya, something a little awry has taken place. Albeit, the first relief material-ridden train has reached Imphal from Guwahati yesterday. So a couple of good steps as well. But I'm just here
Mhm.
thinking if there is a final resolution or solution to the problem in Manipur. Is there one? What's the latest that you're picking? Over to you, Pankaj.
Well, a lot has transpired since Home Minister Amit Shah addressed and spoke in Lok Sabha, saying that the government is ready to discuss Manipur in all its aspects as demanded by the opposition. But it could not break the ice in the parliament. But elsewhere, I would say, as far as the local police is concerned, as far as the identification of more faces goes, and also the relief train that you're talking about, obviously, that's also one aspect that is there in the morning newspaper. So, which came yesterday by around 3 to 4 p.m., which was received by Chief Minister N. Biren Singh. Now, talking about the latest happenings, status quo is far from arrived as of now, and sporadic violence still being reported in several parts of Manipur. Police presence, as always, has been kept up to the mark, and the demand of the CISF more personnel need to be posted at the Imphal airport is something that the Central Industrial Security Force has made a demand to the Ministry of Home Affairs that should be looked into as far as the increasing the presence of security forces at the Imphal airport is concerned. But having said that, talking about the morning newspapers, there are two, three aspects as how life goes on when you are living either in a relief camp or outside. So, Indian Express, the very first page has two to three mentions of Manipur related stories. Shah says, ready for discussion, opposition firm on statement from Prime Minister. That is one logjam that is still needs to be broken, the deadlock over Manipur. The other aspect is focus on Manipur, top BJP leadership in huddle. Assam Chief Minister meets Home Minister. Many would wonder, Kabir, that why the adjoining areas like Mizoram, Assam, and Nagaland, they become important in this whole scenario, whole quagmire of events that is plaguing Manipur as of now. It is very important to note that these seven sisters, unlike the long stretches of other central India and southern India states or western India states, they are almost bordering the seven sisters. Border almost every other state there side by side. So that's why one particular state shares borders with two or three states. So in that scenario, it is very important for people who are migrating from one state to another to escape this onslaught, the turmoil in Manipur. So other states also become get picked up in the this crossfire. The third story that Indian Express
Pankaj,
has
I'm,
mentioned.
I'm just going to
Yeah.
quickly show the viewers that, and hear me out here as well. Um, a martyr's house makes Hamlet Manipur's most protected. Take a look at this picture. I'll just, ask the camera person to zoom in on this picture here. It says Sub Inspector Pautin Sat Goite had laid down his life fighting the Pakistan Army on LOC in 2020, for which he was honored with the Kirti Chakra in 2022. Now the BSF has made its business to protect the village of their fallen colleague and thwarted attempts by miscreants to raise the remaining houses. Take a look at this. You've got, it's a small picture. It's a small picture right over here. And this apparently is Manipur's most protected hamlet. BSF Jawans are carrying out the protection drills. This small little house, this small little hamlet happens to be the most protected. That's how worried the BSF also is. But with essentials, first ever goods train reaches the state. How big of a positive step is this, Pankaj, really?
Well, it is a big step, and I was mentioning that the role of the states, the neighboring states, is very important, both from the humanitarian aspect and from the security part of it. Assam sending supplies to Manipur obviously is an extension of the brotherly relations that these northeastern states, would have with each other. Secondly, the diaspora, the migration that happens both to and fro from Manipur to Assam, Assam to Manipur, that's also there, and other states as well. Assam, obviously a BJP-run state, Himanta Biswa Sarma making it clear that it stands in unity and solidarity with Manipur in this time of crisis, became the first state basically to send a train full of supplies, which, among other things, has supplies to build temporary shelters, visuals of which we are showing as of now on the screens, and food materials and relief materials are there. This critical aspect of attending to those who have been displaced, 50,000 people.
A confidence
Was the
building
last
measure as well,
estimate.
Pankaj. I mean, it's a great confidence building measure, but the larger Northeast question, I mean, what next for Mizoram? What next for Nagaland? What next for Meghalaya? Even as the Meghalaya Chief Minister's office was attacked. But, take a look at this. This on the in the Times of India's newspaper today, it says Assam Manipuri outfit issues tit for tat advisory to Mizos. A small little blurb there says, Zoramthanga pitches for Greater Mizoram, expressing support for a Greater Mizoram through inclusion of Mizo-inhabited areas of Manipur. Mizoram Chief Minister Zoramthanga said, Mizos in Manipur should make a move in accordance with Article 3 of the Constitution rather than coercion. What does this mean for the larger Northeast question? I mean, in Tripura, you've got people demanding for the Greater Tripura land. You've got various kinds of demands in Meghalaya for Tura to be their winter capital. Civil society organizations, separate administrations. How does one look at the larger Northeast questions?
Well, see, Northeast, like other parts of the country, when we talk about, say, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, which states which have been bifurcated earlier. These demands have been there. Talking about Darjeeling, also West Bengal, there is, there are voices who want separation from West Bengal and the creation of a separate state. Also, we saw the same thing happening with Uttar Pradesh when Uttarakhand was carved out of it. These demands based on ethnic lines, based on tribal lines, based on resources allocation lines. Telangana is a classic example. Andhra Pradesh, after a battle for almost over 4 decades, 3 to 4 decades. 2014 was when the state was carved out of Andhra Pradesh. So we have had these examples, and Northeast is also no exception. The question here is when is the right time to actually go for these changes, either for separate administration or for clear demarcation. So delimitation is one aspect that often comes into picture, and that decides on how
Right.
the electorate would be deciding the factors, and also how geographically it is feasible to change the boundaries.
No, you have made a pertinent point over there. Even as we were showcasing those visuals, I mean, look at the imagery over there, Pankaj. You've got BSF, Jawans guarding a hamlet. On the other hand, you've got, the army personnel guarding a football pitch where little children are playing football. I mean, that's the kind of protection, young footballers need in Manipur also. But I'm happy to see that people, children have, started stepping out, and there's some sort of activity that is taking place. Shifting our focus back to the Parliament furor, the Amit Shah you rightly pointed out, has said that we are ready to discuss the Manipur issue in the parliament, but the opposition doesn't want to do it. We earlier heard Prahlad Joshi say the same thing. Rajnath Singh, the defense minister, spoke to Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge on Sunday to break this impasse, but couldn't make much headway per se. In the Lok Sabha yesterday, Amit Shah appealed to the opposition to allow discussion on Manipur, but the Congress insisted that the PM first speak in Parliament on the Manipur crisis. Now, reacting to the exodus of Meiteis from Mizoram following a warning, All Assam Manipuri Students Union asked Mizos in Assam's Barak Valley to leave at the earliest for their own safety. Take a look at these visuals as well. Yesterday, the opposition protested. There was a proper stage-in right near the Mahatma Gandhi statue. Aam Aadmi Party member of parliament from Rajya Sabha, Sanjay Singh, he's one of those people who always gets suspended from the parliament. This time again he's been suspended from the parliament. The other opposition leaders were sitting there in solidarity with his suspension. They wanted a revocation of his suspension. Sanjay Singh's reaction, we have a small reaction of Sanjay Singh. Let's quickly play out that reaction, and Pankaj, I'm going to come pick your brains in terms of what is it that Sanjay Singh does that always lands him up in this suspension closet.
कल पूरी रात हम लोग यहाँ गांधी प्रतिमा के सामने बैठे रहे और पूरा दिन बैठे रहे। हमारी एक ही मांग है भारत के प्रधानमंत्री से कि उनको मणिपुर की हिंसा पे जवाब देना होगा। देश का एक हिस्सा जो हमारा बॉर्डर स्टेट है, ऐसे राज्य के अंदर अगर 80-90 दिनों से हिंसा चल रही है तो प्रधानमंत्री जी खामोश कैसे रह सकते हैं? देश के केंद्रीय मंत्री का घर जला दिया गया, राज्य की महिला मंत्री का घर जला दिया गया, छोटे छोटे बच्चों का कत्ल हो रहा है, बुजुर्गों का कत्ल हो रहा है, नौजवानों का कत्ल हो रहा है, महिलाओं के साथ गैंग रेप हो रहा है। और जो सबसे ज्यादा शर्मसार करने वाली तस्वीर आई, 2 महिलाओं को नंगा करके परेड कराया जा रहा है। उसमें एक महिला है जिसका पति कारगिल युद्ध में हिस्सा ले चुका है। आप कल्पना कीजिए, रिटायर्ड सूबेदार सेना का वो ये कह रहा है कि मैंने कारगिल युद्ध में हिस्सा लेके देश की तो रक्षा कर ली, लेकिन अपनी पत्नी की रक्षा नहीं कर पाया। ये 140 करोड़ हिंदुस्तानियों को शर्मसार करने वाला, उनका सर शर्म से झुकाने वाला बयान है। और हम सब के अंदर अगर जरा सी भी संवेदना है तो आज जरूरत है उस कारगिल के योद्धा के साथ खड़े होने की।
All right, Pankaj, very quickly, what do you think we're expecting in terms of parliamentary proceedings? We've already have a couple of washed out days. We've earlier had washed out sessions, earlier with the farm laws. Last time around it was suspension of those collection of MPs. This time around it's Manipur. What are you expecting today?
Well, today also it's going to be no different, Kabir, in my opinion. And obviously the fix that is there, which the deadlock that is there, which needs to be broken, is who would blink first, who would speak first. Opposition says that Prime Minister should respond. Home Minister says that he would respond. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla says that it's the jurisdiction of the Home Minister, so he would respond, and he is the right man to do it. But obviously, who would blink first? That's one example. Secondly, the thing is, as far as Aam Aadmi Party is Sanjay Singh is concerned, he has been quite vocal. The one representation that Aam Aadmi Party brings to the parliament in form of Sanjay Singh obviously hasn't been able to do much, but always makes his presence felt, and unfortunately gets expelled for the session. Whether it helps or not, but at least it sends out a message to the not so discerning audience that at least कोई तो है जो आवाज उठा रहा है और देखिए कैसे अत्याचार हो रहा है उन पर. But it has to be done through parliamentary ways, parliamentary proceedings. No matter how much you would, want the government to respond to it, but there are ways and means clearly mentioned in how it has to be done inside the parliament. That's
176 versus Rule 267. Does it have to be a short discussion, or do you suspend everything in the parliament to only talk about Manipur? I mean, that's the difference over here. Pankaj, before we shift our focus from Manipur, move into what happened to Meghalaya and how Conrad Sangma, which I think handled the situation very maturely, in my personal opinion. Before that, there are several questions that have now been raised. After over 700 Myanmar nationals, I'm reading an NDTV internet copy. Questions were raised after over 700 Myanmar nationals entered Manipur in over the last 2 days, and there's proper pressure on the army personnel to push back these 715, 718 odd Myanmar nationals back into their border. We've been talking about how the porous border is one of those economic fault lines at play, and the porous border has also helped fester this narco terror nexus and plot in Manipur as well.
Yes, this threat of Myanmar, or for that matter, the proximity of Manipur with Myanmar, is as real as any other threat. And all the states with borders, including, we are talking about Northeast here, but we talk about the western part of the country, say Punjab for that matter, the responsibilities of the state government, become increased many folds. In this situation, 700 people entering Manipur from Myanmar obviously doesn't augur well. But the situation is whether they were, it's a legal entry or an illegal entry that needs to be looked at. Secondly, the poppy business that often comes into picture, whether an alternate route is being tried to establish. That's also there. Thirdly, whether these are the residents of the Manipur itself who are coming back to their homes, thinking whatever they could salvage, they could, and want just the well-being of their family members or loved ones who are there in Manipur as of now. So these aspects are definitely there, Kabir. But the whole thing, as of now, how it boils down is, I would say, pretty sad, because things are not improving that much in Manipur as is. But here in Delhi also, the logjam in the parliament is not helping. And who would respond, who would not respond? Again, I would say the same lines कि मेरे रक्त भरे महाकाव्यों के पन्ने उड़ते हैं तुम्हारे हमारे इस झमेले में. This sarkari tantra, again, if it fails the people of Manipur, then it will be a double whammy for the Manipuris, because first they have suffered a lot, and secondly, if it doesn't reach any conclusion and just gets lost in politicizing in here and there, the way
lot of gray,
second wave.
A lot of gray area over here, and we can only hope that we come out better from it, because these are certainly opportunities for us to bounce back stronger, help all of this become and turn it into a learning curve for ourselves. But the bigger question right now, it seems, is the Manipur government seeking a detailed report from the Assam Rifles on how at least 718 Myanmar nationals in just 2 days, July 22nd and 23rd, were allowed to enter India without proper travel documents, according to a statement by the Home Department, which came late yesterday. Sanjay Singh is already there in the parliament. He never left the parliament premises, it looks like. I think he pretty much slept there as well, checking his everyday morning social media. Can start doing some yoga also over here, giving it back to, the Bharatiya Janata Party. But we'll have to wait and find out as to what happens in the parliament and Manipur. But some good news that came out of Manipur is the highlight for me, certainly, that relief trade, number one, and that Nagaland made sure that members of the Meitei community and the Kuki community held hands together, and even if for a picture's sake, that picture speaks 1,000 words.